So good morning all. So today we are going to discuss few more numericals regarding noise with respect to AM, with respect to FM and with respect to the modulation technique what we have discussed earlier. With the DSPSC, with SSPSC, with AM, with FM, with PM, what we have discussed in the last class only the fundamentals. Now in this we are discussing about some analogy questions. Okay, these analogy questions will help you in your final semester examination. Okay, so here the first question as I have written, consider an analog baseband communication system with an additive white Gaussian noise whose power spectral density is eta by 2 and distorted channel having a frequency response Hc of s. Now the channel response is given, okay, and according to the block diagram is also available in the question, that this channel, when you are feeding the information at this end, feeding the information means modulated signal. So modulated signal when it is delivered to the particular channel and the channel is having certain response, so the response is given, okay, that is Hc of omega is equals to 1 plus small omega divided by capital W. Capital W means it is a total bandwidth, okay, and it is followed by an equalizer. Always remember that equalizer are the devices which equalize the response. That means what will be the response of this equalizer? The response of this equalizer is 1 by Hc of omega. Why the equalizer is used? The equalizer is used in order to suppress the effect of channel. Okay, the channel is having certain response which is multiplied with your modulated signal, received modulated signal. I need to equalize it. I need to extract the information. How can I extract the information? By suppressing the channel response. So what I will do? The equivalent response of this equalizer must be equal to 1 by Hc of omega. This is a trick. This is an analogy. Okay. So equalizer means the channel response will be inversely proportional to the your equalizing response. So that when I will combine these two response, the resultant will become 1 and I can easily extract the signal power. I can easily extract the information. Okay. So we will solve this step by step. Let's see how we are going to analyze it. So first of all, this is a channel response. Okay. This channel response means it will act as a filter circuit. Okay. Here you can see that it is having a response 1 by 1 plus j omega divided by W. W is the total bandwidth. Your omega will vary from 0 to W. So first of all I will write Hc of omega is equals to 1 by 1 plus j omega divided by W, and the omega will lies between 0 to W and 0 otherwise. Okay. So according to this response of the channel, it was identified. Done. Second information is what? Second information is with respect to the equalizer. Okay. I need to identify the equalizer. So here I will write H equivalent for equalizer. H sub x equalizer means response of an equalizer as I have written is 1 by H c of omega. So here I will write 1 by H c of omega, where omega lies between 0 to W and 0 otherwise. So these are the two conditions through which we are synchronizing the response of a channel with respect to the equalizer. The questions will be given up to this much. You need to identify how to extract the information. The equalizer means it will suppress the effect of channel. Okay. So how it is suppressing? If the equalizer response is inversely proportional to the channel response. Okay. Now I need to extract the information. So step by step we will see. So output signal is equals to 1 by 2 pi minus infinite to infinite. The response of this particular channel combined with your equalizing response we are going to achieve mod of Hc of omega whole square, H equivalent of omega whole square, Sx into of omega into d omega. So this particular scenario is nothing but this is our modulated signal. Here I have written S suffix xx of omega means it is a frequency transformation of your input modulated signal to this particular system. And in our signal system we have identified that according to the Parseval's theorem, if we are feeding the power or feeding the signal at this point, your power spectral density will be multiplied with this. Means how we are identifying the power spectral density? The power spectral density is for the signal is Sxx of omega, which is multiplied with the individual response square. So it is Hc omega square, H equivalent omega square. Now the question comes, why have multiplied? Because these two channels here we are considering with the response means it acts as a system. Okay. Equalizer is also having a certain response, it is also act as a system. So these two systems are in cascade in nature. So what I will do, the total system I can form as Hc of omega into H equivalent of omega, so that the resultant will become 1 and you can extract your information. So here I can write 1 by 2 pi minus infinite to infinite xx of omega into d omega. This is the power spectral density. This is the bandwidth. Now what is the power formula? Bandwidth into power spectral density. So here we will get S suffix x. So this is the output signal power, which indicates that whatever we are transmitting the signal, that signal we are extracting at this particular point. Done. So signal power is known. Next, with this signal here, with this signal, noise is also going to come into picture. So I need to identify the noise power. Then I will divide the signal power with respect to noise power so that SNR can be determined, through which we will judge my system is efficient or not. Okay. For that, again we will use, so this is about signal, output signal power. Now we will use with respect to noise. Now noise output power I will write 1 by 2 pi. Then the bandwidth for this is minus eta by 2. Power spectral density is eta by 2 into H equivalent of omega whole square into d omega. Done. So power spectral density for noise is how much? Is eta by 2. H equivalent means at this particular point, because in this channel some additive noise is there, as it is written. The channel system or the baseband communication system with additive AWG and noise. So AWG and noise, power spectral density will come into picture. So here we are using the channel response, but here we are using the power spectral density, because we know the power spectral density for noise is eta by 2. Next response is what? Equalizer response. Take a magnitude square of H equivalent equalizer of omega whole square into d omega. Now in place of H equivalent of omega, how much I can substitute? I can substitute this value 1 by Hc of omega, and I will calculate to determine the noise power. After determination, S0 by N0 will give you the signal to noise ratio. Okay, so let's see. So the noise power will become N naught is equals to 1 by 2 pi. Our total bandwidth will lie between 0 to omega, or W you can write eta by 2. In place of H equivalent, substitute this value 1 by Hc of omega. So 1 by Hc of omega means it is 1 plus j omega divided by W mod whole square into d omega. Done. Now what is the square of this mod? 1 plus omega by W whole square. Done. And then we have to identify the d omega value. So step by step we will see. So it is 1 by 2 pi 0 to W eta by 2, and this value I will get, it is omega by W whole square, because mod means root over and then square is that, so root over means root x whole square will become x. Same thing I have written here, and that is to d omega. Done. Now you need to solve this. Here constant is eta by 2. Done. Then 1 by 2 pi 0 to W 1 plus omega divided by capital W whole square into d omega. Now if you solve this, you will get around eta by 2 pi, because 2 pi is there, 4 by 3 capital W. Done. If you solve this, you will get around 4 by 3 capital W. Now, eta into W is what? Eta into W is nothing but input noise power. Done. So here I will write 4 divided by 3 pi eta into W, or I will write 4 by 3 pi, it is eta into bandwidth. So my noise power, that is output, is 4 by 3 pi eta into bandwidth. Okay. Now my signal power is this, output noise power is this. If I want to determine output signal to noise power, simply you have to divide this factor with respect to this one. Okay. So that one I will write once again. So output signal to noise ratio, it is Sx, this is 3, divided by this pi will go up and 4 eta b. So it is 3 pi divided by 4 Sx eta b. Done. So this is output SNR, and what is this? This is input SNR. Eta b is the input noise power, Sx is the input signal power. So what will be my figure of merit for this system? The figure of merit for this system is the ratio of output SNR divided by input SNR. Okay. So that I can write like this. So as we have determined, output SNR is equals to 3 pi by 4 whole into Sx divided by eta b, and this Sx by eta b is the input SNR. Okay. So my figure of merit FOM is equals to how much? Output SNR divided by input SNR, which will be equals to how much? This is equals to 3 pi by 4. So this is my figure of merit. So like this questions may come in your exam, because these all are analytical questions. Okay. This is figure of merit. Now once if they ask what is noise figure, what is noise factor, let us consider. Noise factor. Noise factor is equivalent to 1 by FOM. So it will become input SNR divided by output SNR, which is equals to 4 by 3 pi. Like this you can determine. These are are the fundamental steps through which you can determine the output signal to noise ratio if this sort of question is given. Means a channel response may given or equalizer response may given, and then you have to identify what is the output signal power and what is the output noise power. After determination of all those things, divide output signal to signal power by noise power, you will get this sort of value. What is Sx? It is the input signal power. What is eta b? It is the input noise power. That means it is an input SNR. Take this component down, you will get output SNR by input SNR, whose value is 3 pi by 4. Then once this value is known, you can determine for noise factor. Noise factor is what? 1 by FOM, or you can say it is called figure also, but it will be in terms of dB. So input SNR by output SNR, which is equals to 4 by 3 pi for this particular system. Okay. Now similarly, one more question we will discuss. Okay. So this is one more question. It is also same derivative type. So as it is given, assuming sinusoidal modulation, then show that in AM system with envelope detection. Envelope detection means again it will come into picture with respect to the modulation index. Okay. In AM system with envelope detection, the output SNR is given by S by N0 ms square divided by 2 plus ms square into gamma. Here gamma indicates that it is input SNR. Okay, input SNR. So gamma is called as input signal to noise ratio. Okay, how to identify this? Again, we will start with some analogy. So first, I need to consider what is my modulated signal. From that modulated signal, I need to, because that modulated signal is going to be delivered in a particular channel in which noise will be added to it, and then we can extract the data. Okay, so one by one we will start. So let us consider my sinusoidal modulation. Okay, let us consider S of t. Okay, which is equals to cos omega ct, amplitude. If it is AM signal, if it is DSDAC signal, first of all we need to identify the carrier component as well as modulating signal. So this is C of t, cos omega ct. Similarly, M of t is equals to cos omega mt. Here I am considering the amplitude of both carrier and this one is same. Now if it is same, that means indirectly what it is showing, the magnitude of modulating signal divided by magnitude of carrier component is equals to 1. Okay, here if Ma square is equals to 1, that means it will become gamma by 3. We need to prove it. Okay, this is the general expression is given. Here I am considering the carrier component amplitude is also 1 as well as modulating signal amplitude is 1, due to which modulation index is done. Now how to analyze this? First of all, I need to identify the power content in my signals. Power content in my signals means I need to identify the power content in this. So what will be my power content? M square of t whole bar. Okay, that m square of t whole bar I will substitute here. So then it will become as a divided by AC, and that will become as a modulation index. So here ms square or m square of t is first component is half, and other component is the harmonic component. You don't have to worry about it. So it is cos square omega mt means it is 1 plus cos 2 omega mt divided by 2. So higher frequency component we are not considering, only the magnitude we are considering. So it is half. Let us consider like this. Next, I need to identify the signal to noise ratio. Okay, so signal to noise ratio means MS square into Sx plus 2 plus MS square into Sx, and here how much it will be? It is 1. Okay, and into gamma. Gamma means input signal to noise ratio. Now what is this Sx? Sx is the power content in my modulating signal. So power content in my modulating signal is how much? It is half. So here I can write Sx. Sx means it is a power content in my modulating signal. So here if I will substitute half in place of this Sx, okay, so what I will get? I will get ms square by 2 divided by 1 plus ms square by 2 into gamma. Gamma here we have considered what? It is input signal to noise ratio. Now if you solve this, you will get output signal to noise ratio is equals to ms square divided by 2 plus ms square into gamma. Because 2 will be cancelled out. That means we have achieved this one or not? Yes, we have achieved. Done. Now, according to the consideration, carrier component we have considered cos omega c. Modulating signal we have considered cos omega mt. Here, Ma is magnitude of modulating signal divided by the magnitude of carrier. Now here according to this assumption what we have took, the Ma is equals to 1. If Ma is equals to 1, my signal to noise ratio will become 1 by 3 into gamma. Okay, what is gamma? Gamma is signal to noise ratio at the input side. Now the question comes, why I have chosen this amplitude is 1 and 1, why it is not different? If it is different, then it depends upon the modulation criteria. If Ma value is less than 1, that means it is comes under your under modulation. If Ma value is greater than 1, then it comes under your over modulation, due to which over slope and envelope distortion will be generated, interference will be there, contribution of noise will be there, so we cannot generate the actual signal to noise ratio when we are identifying at the critical point for this particular case. So for critical modulation, the signal to noise ratio will be 1 by 3 with respect to gamma, with the help of which sort of detection? With the help of envelope detection, because as it is given, it is an envelope detection. Okay, one more question we will take up. Okay, this is one more question. So as it is stated, here we have considered a DSP-AC signal with additive white Gaussian noise is demodulated, means AWGN noise is used, whose power is eta into B. And what is the bandwidth of this DSP-AC signal? It is same as our AM signal. Okay, is demodulated by a synchronous detection. That means here it is specified that whatever the demodulation takes place, it is with respect to the synchronous demodulation technique. Okay, with a phase error. That means this case already we have seen. Phase error means some phase error will be there. Cos of omega ct, when we are synchronizing at the synchronous detector, some phase delay will be there. In place of cos omega ct, it will be cos omega ct plus phi. That is the phase displace. Okay, and taking the local oscillator signal as 2 cos omega ct plus phi. And now if this is the condition, you need to justify your signal to noise ratio at the output is gamma cos square phi. What is gamma? Gamma is the input signal to noise ratio. Okay, so it must be in terms of cos square phi. So this we need to prove it. Okay, this sort of question will come. They will not ask directly that go for synchronous demodulation with some sort of phase error. It is not like that. They will tune it. How they will tune? By changing the amplitude, by changing the phase component with respect to the transmitted signal. Okay. Now we will proceed this one step by step. So first let me draw about the synchronous detection part. So first, this is band pass filter, because through the band pass filter we will get SF of t and NF of t, and then it enters to the mixer in which carrier component is 2 cos omega ct plus phi, followed by an LPF, and then we are determining the output signal, noise signal and signal value. Done. So at this signal to noise ratio Si and Ni is provided to the band pass filter, due to which we will get SF of t and NF of t, which is synchronized with this particular carrier, followed by your LPF. So this is called as your demodulator. Which type of demodulator? It is called synchronous demodulator. Demodulator. Now step by step we will follow to extract this y or y naught of t, and then we will identify the signal power and noise power. Okay. So let's see. Let me erase this part. So input to the signal I can write y of I of t, means input to the demodulator. Okay, y naught of t is the output of demodulator. Done. So what I will write in this, my modulated signal plus noise component is available. Which type of noise? NC of t cos omega ct, then minus ns of t sin omega ct. So here I will write NF of t is equals to NC of t cos omega ct minus ns of t sin omega ct. So this is my noise after the band pass filter. Similarly, what is SF? SF is called as our DSBAC signal, that is AC m of t cos omega t, like that we can write. So that I am writing as AC m of t cos omega ct plus NC of t. This cos omega ct we can write as a common. So it is plus NC of t cos omega ct minus ns of t sin omega ct. So this is the input signal provided to the demodulator. Done. Next is, and the y of t, when I will multiply that cos omega ct with respect to this, then cos square omega ct one component will come and one component will come in terms of cos phi. We need not to worry about that cos square omega ct. It is the higher component. Okay. Only we have to identify the phi component. Okay. So that is phi is component is identified. So if you multiply this equation with respect to this 2 cos omega ct, so what we will get? Let's see. So I will get, it is AC m of t cos phi plus NC of t cos phi and plus NS of t sin phi. Done. So these are the equations I will get. So this particular part I can write as x naught, and this particular part I can write n naught of t. Done. X naught means in which my information is present, and n naught of t is what? In which the noise component is present. Now if you multiply that cos omega ct plus phi with respect to these two equations, these equations will come out. Okay, how? Because cos omega ct into cos omega ct plus phi is cos a cos b form. If you solve it, that omega ct will remove out, only cos phi terms will be there. So cos phi is multiplied to these two components. Similarly, sin omega ct and cos omega ct, so it is a sin a and cos. So that means it will become as a sin a plus b and sin a minus b. So when it is a minus, sin phi will come. When it will come as a plus, 2 omega ct will come. 2 omega ct will be suppressed by this low pass filter. So only phi component here extra. Okay. So this is my y naught of t. Now this we need to calculate the power, because here as you can see, S naught and M naught is the signal power and the noise power. I need to calculate them, and then I will divide these two to determine the signal to noise ratio. So I need to calculate signal power. Okay. In signal system, people have identified some expected value, energy content in that particular value. So that I am writing in a single step, that E x naught square of that. So this indicates that x naught is my information signal square, and the expected value is called as a signal power. This is also one sort of representation. Okay. Many of the books are represented directly what is the energy or what is the power content in it, but some of the book will be written in terms of this. In question we are asking this sort of relation. Remember this is the relation for your power. The expected value of x naught square. So if I will solve this, I will get it is AC square cos square phi expected value of m square of t. Okay, because m of t is there, this is component. So AC square cos square phi and expected value of m square of t. Now this m square of t you can write as AC square cos square phi into Sx, because this is our signal, modulating signal. So this Sx is there. Sx is nothing but this value, energy content or the power content in my modulating signal. So that is Sx. Okay. In some of the book it will be written in terms of m of t whole square bar. In some of the book will be written as Sx. Both are same. So here it is Sx I have written. Done. So that means output signal power is related with input signal power with AC square cos square phi. And now I need to calculate the noise power, and then we will divide those two. It is as simple as it is. So for noise, how to calculate? Let's see. So noise is equals to expected value of n naught square of t. Now what is n naught square? It consists of nc of t cos phi plus ns of t sin phi. Substitute here. So if I am substituting, I will get nc square of t cos square phi plus ns square of t sin square phi. Okay, and then I will get nc of t, ns of t sin 2 pi. Why it is sin 2 pi? Because twice of nc of t, ns of t, sin phi, cos phi. So twice of sin phi, cos phi will become as a sin 2 pi. Okay. Now you need to expect it. So first, energy content in the NC square of t into cos square phi plus power content in the ns square of t, that is represented by the expected value sin square phi. Okay, and this is the higher component, higher harmonic component with respect to phase. Neglect this. So if you are neglecting, and as we know the power content in NC and NS both are same because magnitudes are same. So here I will write it is NC square of t whole into cos square phi plus sin square phi, and we know that its value is 1. So energy content is NC square of t. Expected value means power content in our noise component is NC square of t. Now NC square of t, this I can write it is Ni square of t. Done. And that TS signal, so how much it is? 2 eta into b, because 2b is the bandwidth. Power spectral density for both the sides, it is twice of eta into b. So this is my output noise power. This is my output signal power. Now I need to divide these two. Okay. So output signal to noise ratio, I will write it is AC square cos square phi and Sx divided by 2 eta into b. If you take these two outside, you will get half AC square cos square phi into Sx whole divided by eta into b. Done. Now eta into b is what? It is the input noise power. Here I have written 2. Why? Because it consists of two components, NC of t and NS of t. So for both it is eta b, so it is twice eta b. Now this is half AC square Sx. Now here we have used that our received modulated signal is AC m of t cos omega ct. So this is my received modulated signal. Now what is the power content in this? And this received signal will become as an input signal to our demodulator. So what is the power content? The power content will be half AC square m square of t whole bar, because only depends upon magnitude, and this m square of t is represented as Sx. So as you can see, half AC square Sx. So this is nothing but a signal power, input signal power. So here I will write SI. Here eta into b is called as input signal noise power into cos square phi. So our proof, signal to noise ratio, input signal by input noise power is represented as gamma, and this is cos square phi. So we have proved as per the given question. So output signal to noise ratio is equal to the gamma into cos square phi. So cos square phi is the phase delay, where at the receiver and carrier component. Twice of cos omega ct we have considered. So this is the relation. Okay. So this sort of question may come in your exam. Even I will prepare some assignment question related to this, which you have to complete by the next week. Okay, and that assignment also consists of few programmings, because you people are doing with respect to MATLAB and all. You need to execute those programs, and those programs will be related to the AM, FM, whatever we have discussed till now. With respect to the noise also, you have to execute. Suppose if I will tell what is the signal to noise ratio for this modulated signal, you need to execute a program for that. Okay, with the help of this expression. If I will provide the expression, you can generate AM wave, you can generate FM wave. Okay, According to that, I will provide some assignment question, and you have to upload those assignment questions with the codings and the output in your Google Classroom. Okay. So this is one question. One more question we will discuss. Okay. So this is the last question what we are going to discuss in today's session. So this sort of question already we have discussed in the previous class. Here I want to recall all those things. Here, as per the given question, calculate the transmission bandwidth. We need to calculate the transmission bandwidth first. Done. And the required transmission power ST for DSP-AC system, for SSP-AC system, and for AM system. For transmitting an audio signal which has a bandwidth of 10 kHz, means your modulating signal bandwidth is 10 kHz. Means here I will write bandwidth of modulating signal is 10 kHz. Okay. And what else is given? With an output SNR. Output SNR is also given. How much? It is 40 dB. Then 40 dB is given. Assume that the channel introduces a 40 dB power loss. So when the information is delivered in the channel and the channel will have some losses, power loss is 40 dB. Okay, 40 dB. And the channel noise, which is an additive white Gaussian noise with a power spectral density eta by 2 is equals to 10 to the power minus 9 watt per hour. Done. So this sort of question we have done in previous class. Similarly, we have to identify for this system. So first of all, we need to calculate the bandwidth for our system. Okay, as it is required for signal transmission. Now, as you know that for AM and DSP-AC, your transmission bandwidth is equal to twice FM. Okay, twice FM. What is FM? It is 10 kHz. So it is 20 kHz. Done. And then for SSP system, your bandwidth is same as your modulating signal bandwidth, because here only either upper sideband or lower sideband we are going to transmit. But in DSP-AC, suppressing the carrier, two sidebands are transmitted. In AM, with the carrier, two sidebands are transmitted. So this is the bandwidth. So first question is over. Now we need to calculate what is the transmitted power. Okay, so that calculation we have seen in the previous class. Same thing we need to incorporate here. How we have proceeded? We have proceeded with the help of figure of merit. Okay, so first I am calculating with respect to DSP. With respect to DSP. So as we know that in DSP the figure of merit is 2. What it indicates? Output SNR is equals to twice into input SNR. Okay. Now here it is hint is given output SNR is 40 dB. So this is 40 dB, which is equals to 2 into signal to noise ratio. Done. This 40 dB you need to convert into decimal value. So it is input signal to noise ratio is 2 into 10 to the power 4 over. I need to calculate first input signal power. So 2 into 10 to the power 4 into 9. So noise power is how much? Eta into B. So 2 into 10 to the power 4, and for DSP-AC system, eta into B we have to substitute it. Okay. So eta into B. Okay, 1 minute. The signal to matrix. Here what correction you make it? Here I have multiplied 2. It must be in a division, so that value can be identified as. So it is 10 to the power 4 divided by 2, because we are dividing this 2 here. Okay. This 40 dB is converted into decibel, that is 10 to the power 4. Now I need to calculate the input signal power, that is Ni into 10 to the power 4 divided by 2. What is Ni? Ni is eta by eta into B, that is the input noise power. Either you consider for DSPAC, either you consider for SSPAC, or you consider for AM. Okay. So eta into B into 10 to the power 4. Now eta by 2 is how much? Eta by 2 is 10 to the power minus 9. And what is the bandwidth? Bandwidth is how much? It is 20 kilohertz we have considered for DSPAC system. So it is 20 into 10 to the power 3 into 10 to the power 4. So this is 7 and this is minus 2. It will become as 20 into 10 to the power minus 2. Or here I can write it is 0.2 watt. So this is my input signal power. Done. Now input signal power is known. Power losses is also known, that is 40 dB. I need to determine the transmitted power. Yesterday we have formed a relation. Okay, we have seen a relation. The same relation will help us to determine the transmitted power. Okay, so how? Let's see. It is input signal power into dB is equals to transmitted power into dB minus the losses in dB. If you consider in decimal value, your input signal is equals to transmitted power by losses. So the transmitted power I can write as psi into L. Okay, so this is the general one. Now as we have determined, input signal power for DSPAC system is how much? 0.2 decibel value. Now what is the losses? As it is given as 40 dB, you need to convert it to decibel, so it is 10 to the power 4. So here I will substitute 10 to the power 4, so it is 2 kilowatt. That means transmitted power is 2 kilowatt. Here according to the question, it is ST. Okay, so ST is 2 kilowatt when we are using the DSPAC signal. Done. Now we will see with respect to the SSPAC signal. So for SSPAC, what is our figure of merit? The figure of merit for SSPAC is 1, which indicates output SNR is equals to input SNR. Okay, I need to calculate SI. So what I will do? I will do NI into output signal to noise ratio. What is NI? It is eta into D. What is signal to noise ratio? It is 40 dB converted to a decimal value 10 to the power 4 into 10 to the power 4. Now what is eta? Eta is equals to 2 into 10 to the power minus 9. What is B? B is the bandwidth for SSPAC, that is 10 kilohertz, 10 to the power 3 into 10 to the power 4. So it is 10 to the power 8, 2 into 10 to the power minus 1 or 0.2. So this is my SSPAC power. Which power? Signal power for SSPAC. Now I need to calculate what is the transmitted power. So transmitted power is equals to signal power into the power loss. So signal power is 0.2. What is the power loss? 40 dB, that is 10 to the power 4. So it is 2 kilowatt. Over. Simple. Similarly, we will calculate for AM system. Now for AM system, your figure of merit is equals to MA square divided by 2 plus MA square. Done. Now here no information is given about this MA. So if it is not given, consider MA is equals to 1 for critical modules. So for this, if you substitute, your FOM will become 1 by 3 and then you can proceed. So output SNR is equals to 1/3 of input SNR. Okay, we need to calculate signal power. So 3 into output SNR into input noise power over. So 3 output SNR is 10 to the power 4. Input noise is how much? Eta into B. Eta is how much? 2 into 10 to the power minus 9. And what is the bandwidth of AM? It is 20 kilohertz. Now solve it. So it is 4 into 2, it is 12. It is 4, this is 4, 8, 10 to the power minus 1. So 1.2 watt. So input signal power is 1.2 watt. Okay. Now I need to calculate the transmitted power, and losses are also there. So what I will do? So ST is equals to SI into PL. So it is 1.2 into 10 to the power 4. So it is 12 kilowatt. That means 40 dB losses, and we are transmitting 40 kilowatt, so it becomes as a 1.2 watt. So like this questions will come in your exam, and you have to identify the relations for MA is equals to 1. One more example. Suppose if MA square value is given to you 0.5, 0.6, 0.3, substitute the value, find the FOM, find the input signal to noise ratio, input signal power, proceed like this, determine the transmitted power. That's it. So like this question will be asked in your VTU exam. They will not ask directly, they will ask in analogy method, in derivative method. Okay. So for the timing, we will end up this session. Next class, we will discuss about the module 4, which is comes under our sampling. It is a simple module, simple chapters are there, very easy to understand. Okay. So next class, we will discuss about sampling. Thank you all.